Okay, so now we have a problem we need to deal with. I've made a very crude, horrible looking map here of a small part of the city. And when we look at these streets, I mean, we've got a couple of problems we need to deal with. First of all is the size of the symbols. And the second is when these road symbols meet, it's just not very satisfactory. It looks quite ugly and they should meet in a nicer way. So we're going to try and deal with both of these problems. We have a scale down here, and if we assume that we're going to be working towards a particular scale, let's say we're going to be working towards somewhere around 2,500, say, that will look like that, and will start to look a bit messy. But we can zoom in a little bit just to look at some more details for now on how these roads meet. We'll start with that problem. So we're on the transport networks layer here. We go to properties, and what we need to look at is under advanced. We're going to look at how these roads meet and how they interact with each other. We go to symbol levels. We have symbol levels enabled, but somehow they're just not working properly. We're not getting the right sort of mixing between the different types of road. So if we look at this dual carriageway here, that's being drawn at layer 1 and 0, 0 for the black lines, whereas this street is being drawn at 0 for the center line and 1s for the side lines. Well, let's try flipping that around, put that at 1, so that comes afterwards, and put those at 0. Okay, click on OK, click on apply. So now we can see that those meet more nicely. That's a slightly better meeting between them. When we look at this cycle path, maybe that's good that it doesn't go straight over. Maybe we think that's right. We could adjust the levels of that so that they meet nicely and properly. But adjusting these levels helps us to get these things to merge properly. It's a good idea that the main roads dominate over the minor roads, but we want these black lines to be covered up. So that was the symbol levels. We're going to close this for a second. And what we can do then is go back to this. If we say we're going to work at this particular scale, what we can see here is it's pretty messy. Is this correct? Is this what it would look like in our layout? So if we go to layouts and we choose, say, the A4 layout, this is focused on the wrong area. So if we click on move item content there, we can then move it around, try and find our area of interest. There's our map. With the layout for the map, properties there, 2,500. So this is a much smaller area than 500 by 500. I'm going to zoom in even more until we get something that works for me, just to illustrate this point. Well, now the tree symbols aren't as much of a problem, but the road symbols seem to be pretty awful. What happens if we take a scale of 2,000? Yeah, we can maybe we're okay with that. Maybe not, but we'll try and sort this out so that these line symbols seem more appropriate for the scale of the map. Because at the moment we've got a lot of dead space in between the buildings and the roads. It doesn't look very nice. So we can just, if we say we're going to be working with the 2,000 scale, we close that off. We go back here. We can set the scale here to 2,000. Get some idea of what it looks like here. Right, okay, so we need to make the roads, at least these streets, a little bit larger. So let's click on the transport network, properties. We get this up, we can actually reduce the size of this window a little bit just to make it more convenient. And it's the street symbol there. I think we'll start with that one. Now what we can do is adjust them individually or adjust the symbol as a whole. I mean, if we just start by moving that up to, say, 3, click on OK there and apply, they become much broader straight away. So that's definitely an improvement, I would say. We might even want to change this symbol that I've used here that I call dual carriageway. It's not entirely correct. We can adjust the whole thing so that's a little broader. Click on OK there, apply. It starts to fill out the map a little bit more. Things start to feel a little more realistic. So we can play with these ideas like this cycle and footpath. Maybe that needs to be a little larger as well. We can adjust the whole thing. The alternative would be to go in and adjust. Let's say we want to adjust the street symbol again. Click there. We can go in and adjust these individually. Move them out, make them slightly larger. I think the street symbol is probably large enough in total, the stroke width there. So that's just 3. That covers the whole stroke. But I think these could perhaps do with being slightly larger. So we can actually write those in as 1. The offset as 1.5. And then go to the next one. What do we have? That was a 1 and a 1.5. Make that a 1. We'll make that a minus 1.5. Click on OK. Click on Apply. And now they're a little bolder. Now we see them more clearly. So that's how we've adjusted those. We can look at the labels. As you can see, we've got labels in there. Before we actually look at the labels, let's just look at the attribute table. So the names of the roads have been written in this column here, because that's a text column. So now we can go back to properties and we look at the symbology, the labels. We click here and we're using single labels taken from that type column. Here's our text style. I'm using Arial in this case. The size is 6. We could, if you think that's too small, we can get a little larger. We have a buffer around it of 1 point. And the placement I've got as being parallel with the roads. It's on the line rather than below it. We want it on the road. And they repeat at 75 millimeters. So click apply there, click on OK. And here we have the street names laid out. So that's the map. This is far from complete. Now we've finished that. I'll round this video off and we'll take up the next couple of points that I want to illustrate in another video. I think that would be easier for everybody.